All right, everybody. So, customer says that he lost the drive on this thing. Some other technician came out a few months ago and put the belt back on, but he thinks the belt fell off again. So, I'm going to do a cable adjustment, see what happens here. And if that doesn't work, then we'll be pulling the cover off and checking out the belt system. And so, yeah, cable adjustment didn't work. Let's pull the cover off, see what the belt system looks like. There's going to be 2 bolts on the top here, and then there should be, I think there's 7 or 8 on the bottom. So you got to scrape some of this grass off to get these 2 middle rear bolts, rear screws. They're plastic screws, I should say. Careful over tightening these, they will strip out. So this impact gun, I'm just barely hitting it when we go to tighten these back on. They strip out real easy. Once this cover comes off, this whole transmission will try to fall out of place. So you kind of just gotta be careful with it. And then you're gonna have to grab that adjuster to pull that cover the rest of the way out. And there you go. Belt is off the transmission pulley. But the belt looks pretty good, actually. There's no dry rotting or thin spots when we checked it. And you can see the retainer is too far away. And this belt's going to be going clockwise around that pulley. And so if it's going to fall off anywhere, it's going to be on that front side. When it's going clockwise, it's going to be on the left side if you're standing behind the mower. It would most likely come off on the front side where that belt contacts and goes around the pulley first. And so I'm just going to pull this retainer off and bend it a little bit to hold this belt on the pulley a little closer. You don't want the retainer rubbing on that belt too hard because it will burn up the belt, but you want that retainer as close to the belt as possible when the belt is in the engaged position. So just made a slight, subtle adjustment on there, and I'm going to make a mistake here. Put this retainer on, and that's on wrong. That is incorrect. Yeah, that's a problem. There we go. Let's go and actuate it and see what the belt looks like when it's all straightened out. And we're just subtly touching the retainer. I think that's fine. This belt doesn't go too fast anyways. It's going to be okay just like that. So I'm push this clip back on, and we're going to get it all back together, and we'll test it out and see what happens here. And so you just want this little notch to slide into the deck on the back side there. It's kind of awkward. And then we're going to have to push that adjuster in, or release that adjuster to get this cover back on. Now I'm checking for thin spots, thinking about it here, why else it could be jumping off, and the belt looks good. No burnt spots, no thin spots, no dry rotting. If it had any of these problems, I would stop and we would change the belt, but this belt looks fine. And so I'm just going to hold up on this transmission in the front side of the mower. That way this top cover is really close to the screw holes. And while holding up on the front side, I'm going to put these screws, these 2 top screws in. It'll kind of hold everything together for me when I flip it over. And when you flip these mowers, you always want to flip them intake side up. You always want your air filter on the up side. If you do it the other way, you're going to cause some big, messy problems. All right, 2 screws in. Let's flip her over, do the bottom side here. This one is missing a screw. There should be 2 on that back side of the cover, but it's missing that other one there. You can see the empty hole. right under that first screw I put in. But it's going to be fine just like that. No biggie. You're always going to want to check your oil before you run these. I checked it initially. This oil is nice and full, nice and clean. I think this guy just changed it. Let's test it out here. I'm just kind of whacking the engagement handle there, trying to get it to fall off, trying to duplicate any symptom, but it feels good. No shakiness to it. Then we're going to get this cable adjustment all done. This thing runs great. Another happy customer. Like and subscribe. Yeehaw!